On September 10, 2025, tragedy struck Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk was speaking to a packed auditorium on the first stop of his American comeback tour. The event was charged, drawing both supporters and protesters. While answering a question about mass shootings, gunfire erupted. Chaos ensued as the crowd scrambled for safety. Charlie Kirk had been shot. The shocking violence ended the event abruptly, leaving attendees in disbelief. News of Kirk's death spread rapidly, shaking the political landscape. His loss highlighted the growing threat of political violence in America. As police launched a massive investigation, the public turned online for answers. In this digital frenzy, a young social media user's name would soon become entangled with the tragedy. In the aftermath of the incident, a new name began to dominate conversations across social media platforms: Omar Najra Galvz. Within hours, hashtags with Omar's name were trending, and people everywhere were asking, who is this person, and why are they suddenly at the center of a digital storm? Omar is a 17-year-old from Mexico who identifies as non-binary. Before all this, they were just another teenager living in a bustling city, blending into the crowd, not seeking attention or fame. Omar was not a celebrity, activist, or influencer, just a regular young person navigating daily life. Like many teens, Omar was active on X, formerly known as Twitter. Their posts were a mix of personal updates, thoughts about school, and opinions on pop culture. Nothing out of the ordinary, just the digital footprint of a typical teenager sharing moments with friends and followers. But everything changed when their connection to Utah Valley University was uncovered. Suddenly, this detail became a crucial piece of the puzzle for thousands of online investigators. Online sleuths, desperate for any leads, began to scrutinize anyone remotely linked to the event. They combed through profiles, piecing together fragments of information, hoping to find answers. Omar's profile was suddenly thrust into the harsh spotlight. Strangers dissected their private life, analyzing every post, photo, and comment, searching for clues or connections. Details like Omar's age, nationality, and gender identity quickly became central to the online narrative. These personal facts were debated, speculated on, and sometimes even twisted to fit different theories. Omar's sudden notoriety was not something they chose. It was the result of the internet's relentless, sometimes ruthless search for answers, where privacy can vanish in an instant. This case is a powerful reminder of how quickly an ordinary person can become the focus of global attention, swept up in a story far bigger than themselves. Omar's story stands as a cautionary tale about the internet's power to create and distort narratives, often without regard for the real people involved. Sometimes all it takes is being in the wrong place at the wrong time for your life to change forever, reminding us that behind every viral headline is a real person, caught in the glare of the world's attention. The controversy around Omar began with a few posts on their X account. One cryptic message, "Something big will happen," was posted a day before Kirk's speech. After the shooting, this post was seen as ominous by many. Screenshots of Omar's negative comments about Kirk and his event spread rapidly. The context of tragedy turned ordinary opinions into supposed warnings. After the shooting, Omar changed their account handle and set it to private. To online investigators, this looked suspicious, fueling speculation. These actions, combined with the viral posts, created a perfect storm. Screenshots circulated widely, cementing Omar's name in the court of public opinion. The internet's rush to judgment made these posts central evidence long before police spoke. This is how a few online messages became the heart of a national controversy. Rumors about Omar didn't start in one place. They exploded across the internet, spreading with a speed and intensity that's become all too familiar in the digital age. Within hours, speculation and half-truths were being shared by thousands, each new post adding fuel to the fire. On platforms like 4chan and X, users desperate for answers after the tragedy began digging through profiles, searching for any connection to the shooter. It didn't take long before someone stumbled upon Omar's account, and soon, screenshots of his posts and photos were circulating widely. People began pointing to Omar's identity and online activity as so-called proof of his involvement, even though there was no real evidence. The more his posts were shared, the more convinced people became that they had found their culprit. Influencers and high-profile accounts quickly picked up the story, broadcasting it to their massive audiences. Their reach meant that within a day, millions of people had heard Omar's name, and many accepted the rumors as fact without question. The narrative was simple and compelling. A person who disliked Kirk had made a threat, and then tragedy struck. It was a story that fit neatly into existing fears and suspicions, making it easy for people to believe. This narrative slotted perfectly into ongoing political conflicts, fueling the culture war and giving both sides ammunition to attack each other. The story became less about facts and more about scoring points. Commentators and pundits seized on the story, using it to make sweeping claims about political extremism and the dangers of online radicalization. The conversation quickly shifted from what actually happened to what people wanted to believe. As the rumors spread, details were exaggerated, twisted, or simply invented. Each retelling made the story more dramatic, and soon the line between fact and fiction was impossible to see. The original posts, taken out of context, became evidence of guilt. Anyone who dared to question the narrative or ask for proof was met with hostility, accused of defending the indefensible. The digital storm created its own reality. Omar was now the prime suspect online, regardless of what the facts actually were. The more people searched, the more they found only what they expected to see. In this chaos, the truth was lost in a sea of speculation, anger, and misinformation. The real story was buried under layers of outrage and assumption. This is how an unproven idea, repeated often enough, can become accepted as fact on the internet, regardless of whether it's true. For Omar, the consequences were immediate and severe. His life was upended by a rumor that took on a life of its own, showing just how powerful and dangerous online narratives can be. As rumors began to swirl, conspiracy theories quickly took over the digital landscape. Within hours, speculation and misinformation spread faster than any official statement could keep up with. Online forums, group chats, and social media feeds became battlegrounds for wild ideas and unverified claims. The lack of timely official information only fueled the fire. With authorities silent or slow to respond, people filled the void with their own narratives, no matter how outlandish. Some users labeled Omar as an LGBTQ+ trans shooter, weaponizing their identity to push divisive political agendas and stir outrage among different communities. Others, without any evidence, falsely linked Omar to groups like Antifa or even international extremist organizations, hoping to fit the story into their own worldviews. Baseless claims were shared as fact, repeated in comment sections and private messages, stoking fear, anger, and deepening social divides. Some theories grew even stranger, suggesting Omar was part of secret government plots, or that the entire event was a staged operation meant to distract the public from other issues. These elaborate fictions found eager audiences online, as people searched for answers or simply wanted to be part of the conversation, no matter how far-fetched the claims. None of these theories had any real evidence. They were built on prejudice, fear, and the human tendency to seek patterns, even where none exist. Omar's story became a canvas for people's anxieties, political beliefs, and personal frustrations, reflecting more about society's divisions than about the truth. The internet's power to create, amplify, and spread fiction in the wake of tragedy is both immense and dangerous, often drowning out facts with noise. Each theory revealed more about its creators, their fears, biases, and hopes, than about Omar or the actual events that took place. In the end, the real story was lost in a tangled web of online fantasy, leaving the truth harder to find than ever before. Amid the online chaos, the official investigation told a different story. As of September 12, 2025, police have not named Omar Najra Galvz as a suspect or person of interest. No official statement links Omar to the crime. Authorities are focused on concrete evidence, not social media rumors. They released video of an unidentified suspect and asked the public for real leads. The investigation is built on physical evidence and witness testimony. The silence about Omar is telling. If there were credible evidence, police would act. Theories online remain just that, theories. The only certainty is that the shooter remains at large. Utah officials have vowed to pursue justice, but facts, not speculation, will solve the case. The public should trust official sources, not viral rumors. The Omar Najra Galvz story is a stark warning about online speculation. In the rush for answers, the internet can turn innocent people into suspects overnight. Misinformation spreads faster than truth, and digital mob justice can ruin lives. Even if cleared, the accused may face lasting harassment and threats. False leads distract police and waste resources, hindering real investigations. Online speculation often exploits biases. Omar's identity was weaponized to fit a narrative. This is digital mob justice, not fact-finding. We must be careful about what we share, especially after a tragedy. Critical thinking is essential to prevent harm. The internet's power to accuse is immense, but so is our responsibility to use it wisely. Behind every username is a real person. Let's not add to the pain with reckless speculation. Misinformation online has real, devastating consequences. Omar, a 17-year-old, was thrust into a global storm and accused by millions. The fear and stress for them and their family is unimaginable. Digital accusations can lead to real-world harm, harassment, threats, and isolation. Misinformation also deepens social divisions, fueling hate against entire groups. Theories blaming the LGBTQ+ community or Antifa only spread more fear and anger. Trust in institutions erodes as people turn to conspiracy over facts. This makes it harder for society to unite and solve problems. Focusing on false suspects lets the real perpetrator escape. The hunt for Omar online did nothing to help justice for Charlie Kirk. Misinformation is a distraction that only serves chaos. In the wake of tragedy, patience and caution are vital. Justice for Charlie Kirk must be based on facts, not rumors. Law enforcement's job is to investigate. Ours is to be responsible with information. Before sharing, ask, is this from a reliable source? Is there evidence? Could it harm someone innocent? Omar's story is a warning. Anyone can become a target of online suspicion. We must remember the real people behind the headlines. The best way to honor Kirk and seek justice is to let investigators do their work. Spreading theories only creates more harm and confusion. Let's commit to seeking truth and treating each other with fairness, both online and off.